Hello, and how's it going, guys? Girls in circles, whatever. Today I'm not feeling my best because I uploaded this video already, but I have to upload another one because the first one didn't catch my audio for some reason, even though I did the same steps and now it works. So today we'll be talking about something that's very important, which is how to break a habit. Now, if you haven't watched the previous video, what is a habit? A habit is something that you do over and over and over again, that it becomes a part of your personality. So let's say that you have a habit that you want to break for valid and invalid reasons. Let's say, for example, you play video games. Let's talk about myself here. So I play video games. Video games is a lot of fun until it's not. And when it's not, this is where people get separated. Some people continue through the struggle anyway, which I applaud. And some of you will keep going, which is something that I used to do for a while now. So let's say that the habit is video games, and this is me. The way how I decided to be able to break my habit by breaking it, I mean making it way more difficult to achieve, to get to the habit, was by making it more difficult. How? By something that we call friction. What is a friction? Friction is something that makes you getting to the habit less achievable, if not impossible, because who wants to do a bad habit? Nobody really wants to do a bad habit, but we get so addicted to it because it's so easy. So one of the things that I do to make playing video games harder is that I think about it. Let's say one of the struggles for me to get to the habit because is that I know I will get pissed off eventually. So that's one thing that will make it less likely for me to play video games. Another thing, time consuming. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I have to argue with my brothers because they also want to play video games. So that's another friction. It requires internet connection. What else? What else? It's not beneficial. It's not going to make me any money. So I get to think about it clearly and notice that these are all frictions that are in the way of me reaching to the habit. Now, how am I not? How am I still playing through the video games anyway? Because your frictions and your willpower do not exist. So this is friction, right? Orange pen. So what is this circle, or sorry, that orange line? This is supposedly should be your willpower. Willpower. What is willpower? It is something that you embrace through your own consciousness. You have to put your consciousness for you to achieve a habit or get rid of a habit. So you don't have willpower to achieve your bad habit because it's so easy. So you have to put on willpower for you to think by saying, hey, I have a problem. And by telling yourself that you actually have the problem, you have built this orange line. And the way how you would reinforce it is by building frictions. Now let's say that you have already built-in frictions, or let's say I have already built-in frictions. One friction that I could add is that I unplug the PlayStation from behind. That's one way to add friction. I can take the monitor out and put it somewhere else. That's another friction. The PlayStation room that we have has a door that supposedly should have a key, but we don't have the key. Let's say that we had the key. I'll just give the key to my mother and say, hey, Mom, take the key, and you can only allow me to play once a week, for example. That's another friction. I get to also think by reading self-help books, just like Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it will only reinforce more and more and more and more frictions until you get to the point where you just can't be bothered to play video games because you already have built-in willpower and you have reinforced it by building frictions, right? So these are a couple of things that I have interpreted from reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a book that I would totally recommend to you. So let's say that, on the other hand, for those who haven't watched the previous video, let's say that you want to build a habit. You would simply do it by removing frictions and making it so accessible that you don't need willpower, because your habit is so close to you. Your habit is so close to you because you don't get to think about it anymore. So what habits or what things that we usually want to build? We want to build habits that are related to self-improvement, like studying for your final exam. That's a habit. But we always use a lot of willpower, and we put a lot of frictions on ourselves by building out bad habits, right? So you have to do it that way. You really do. And when you want to break the habit, let's say for me, throughout all these frictions, I still want to play video games, and I did. Then, after you finish playing video games, or talking to myself here, it is simple. Well, it is simple. You have to reset everything. You have to reset everything. I still have to give the keys to my mom. I still have to read the book. I still have to take off the headset and throw it somewhere. I still have to do all the frictions that I knew about and just keep them in the same place. Some people, their main friction is that they live in a broken household, unfortunately. So they just can't escape it, or at least that's what they assume. It depends on how high is your intelligence quota, IQ. So I think it's intelligence quota. Anyways, so sometimes the way for you to get rid of all of these immense frictions is by just leaving the house, which is something that I did. And when I went to the other side of the country, I didn't have any need to play video games. But unfortunately, I built other bad habits, which is watching Netflix a lot. It was so bad. It was so bad. But I built another habit, which is walking. So that's something that I got back in return. And when I got here, video games is not as entertaining. It's like a headache to me personally. And the walking, I still do it. Now, for the time being, I'm not doing it as much because I changed my diet so much. My diet is still delicious, but it's a lot lower in calories, but they're making me full. So, it's a give and take situation at the end of the day. So this is the video, and for those who have any questions, don't just read the book, and you still have questions, you better pay me. See you later.